Good morning, everybody. How is everyone doing on this fine Tuesday? We still are a little cooled off here. I was actually just talking to Susan and I said, man, yesterday I couldn't keep my eyes open. I didn't know what was going on. And I really think it was just the sudden temperature change. You go from 100 plus to mid 80s, it becomes like sleeping weather to you. So let's see who's in here. Shannon, Georgia Peach, first one in. Hello, Katrina. Hello, Trouble. Exactly. Justice for Abby and Libby. Exactly. Hello, Uli Girl. How are you? Preschool Granny. Good morning. Outlaw. Just me. Oklahoma. Good morning. Hello, Chris. Chandra. Big T. Gaelic. Sonia Allen. DT Driver. Kayla. Angie Gibson, Mama Kay. Hope I don't miss anybody. If I do, spank me later. Mary Glick, good morning. And hello, Misty Dew. So, of course, this case has been going on since 2017. It is the oddest case because they have video of the suspect. They have his voice. They've investigated many. They've turned that town upside down. And still no arrests. And it's like the case has haunted the town, and especially the lead investigator with the troopers in Indiana. It's crazy. Good morning, I plead the fifth. So I'm going to bring up our friend Susan and get to it because we actually have video that one of our members, she went to Delphi last week, and it gives us a totally different perspective. You guys, this is big. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just not looking forward to that next heat wave coming through, but that's okay. I'll find something else to complain about once that's done.
We always do.
Yes, we do. Doesn't mean anyone's going to listen, though, right?
Absolutely.
So did you get that cool off, too?
Oh, yeah. We're really nice right now. We're in the lower 80s for the high.
Feels like it's like October outside. It's almost crisp.
Yeah, I like it.
Me too. So now you saw the video footage that 7 Alibis got. And, I mean, were you as impressed as me?
Oh, yes. I couldn't have walked out on that bridge. Props to her husband.
No, I couldn't have either. I would have, honestly, it was eerie enough for me just driving by the exit when I was going through Indiana.
I imagine so.
I couldn't imagine being there, and especially when she was describing to us, it's like a ghost town. And here, school's out. This could just be an unusual day. I don't know. School's
I was struck by how well you could hear the birds. So sound carries.
That was another thing. I'm glad you brought that up because you're going to hear it in the video. You can definitely hear birds chirping, everything like that. So it makes you wonder, obviously sound carries very well there. Did Abby and Libby not make any sounds, any cry for help at all?
I find it hard to believe.
I know. And the way she described, like how quiet it was. They were the only people there. This is, on a really nice, mild day. Have memorials set up for Abby and Libby. Yeah. Who is Rogers Brown?
I have no idea.
Carlos said Rogers Brown reacts as talking about you. Send him the link. Have him come over and talk in here. No point in talking behind my back. Doesn't bother me and Susan.
No, not at all.
Hang on, I'm trying to get this. loaded. I'm kind of slow today. Let's go through some comments from the last show, shall we?
Why not?
Why not? Okay. Our friend Robin Smith said, I can't believe this man who owned the property wouldn't at least hide the bodies. Why stage them and make up a flimsy alibi? It's a huge coincidence that the Kleins had contact with the girls through catfishing, wanting to meet them, and then this tragedy to happen. Hope this case is solved soon. I love how she put this together because, for one, Keegan admits that he was one of the last people to speak to Libby. I think he said he was the last person to speak to her. He was behind the fake catfishing profile. This tragedy happens. Ron Logan has someone set up an alibi for him. And like she said, it's a flimsy when it had to do with tropical fish. It's his property. Why would you leave two murdered girls, stage them where people could find them? I mean, even, the top cop in Indiana said, we're not saying anything more because only the person who did it is going to know. So why would you make it so obvious when it's your own property? What do you think about that?
I think his DNA didn't match.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, girlfriend.
Somebody set them up on his property for a reason.
Yes.
And how does Keegan Klein know he was the last one who contacted her?
Good question. I thought that in the last show we did about Delphi. Just the name gives me the chills. Did someone tell him that, or does he know? You know what I mean?
It could have been the police told him that.
Mm-hmm. The police could have said you were one of the last. He seemed to be a little proud of that statement, though, don't you think? Or was I reading too much into it?
I'm not sure, actually. Might have been just stating it matter-of-factly, or he could have been proud.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many unknowns in this case.
He was all about letting them know that and, volunteering the information that they have all of his DNA. They've done all the swabs, which they would. He's in jail. He's in jail. He's not going to see the light of day anytime soon. So he's making sure that we know that he was the last person to talk to him. They have his DNA. Whose DNA do they not have? Somebody else is involved, obviously, if it was Keegan.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be. DNA doesn't lie.
Yeah, DNA doesn't lie. And it can't be his father. It can't be Ron. I wonder.
And this was a popular comment. We got this several times on the channel and actually sent separately in a couple of emails from different people, not all the same person. All right. No stalkers around here. Okay. Saffron said the Kleins had too much time to get rid of evidence, in my opinion. I am on the fence about this because I still can't figure out, to me, it seems like a very short period of time to get something so horrific done. And then again, you have a crime scene where the girls are murdered, and then you carry the girls dead weight across a creek to the staging area. Somebody had to have helped. That can't be one guy. Keegan doesn't look like any kind of athlete to me. Do you know what I mean?
The only thing I can think of is the girls walked over there. But I can't for the life of me think that they wouldn't holler.
Yeah. Scream for help or something. That's why I keep thinking that maybe there was two people.
That should have been.
and it was planned. Okay, like on the word go, we do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But the window of opportunity and all the people in the park and how sound travels.
Because we heard it for ourselves.
Trigger warning, when they were hurting them, you don't think they would have yelled out?
Unless they couldn't. True Crime with Shannon said, I don't believe it's KK, but I do think it could be two people. Yeah, I kind of gave up on that creep too, because he's too forthcoming with information. It's kind of like he's a celebrity behind bars. I mean, hell, at CrimeCon, people were, streaming him in for interviews and stuff, and it's not his DNA.
No, it's not. But who is he involved with that could have done it, and why?
Well, and I go back to, okay, I plead the fifth. She said, I think the girls ran across the creek. I don't think he drug them over there. Well, see, and my question is, and of course they're not going to tell me, they've already said it's all sealed, it was a staged crime scene. So the murder had to have been done in one place, obviously, and then the girls taken to another place. Like, not everything happened in one area.
I don't know. You could have murdered them and then staged them in that area.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that's how it would have to be. I mean, you have the murder in one area, then it's staged. Because when I heard staged, I'm like, ugh, I don't even want to imagine. It has to be more than one person.
Has to be.
Because the
How do
girls,
you
go ahead, sorry.
I just said, how do you control both of them?
You couldn't. They're teenagers.
Mm-hmm. It's not like she stand around and wait for him to finish with her and kill her.
Mm-hmm. And Lisa said 2 people could lay in wait until likely victim comes along. Yeah. Now we know Bridge Guy, they're saying that this is our guy, but he had somebody else there. But the unknown DNA, we've never heard is the unknown DNA 1 sample or 2. Do you have a tainted sample? Is there some reason you can't get a cross match on it?
That's a good point. It doesn't say if it's 1 or 2.
Yep. And Joy Catcher picked up like what I was saying in the last show we did about Delphi. Makes me think the other guy was down the hill, maybe. That's what I was saying. Something was getting him to make them go down the hill. Now it's spliced. We're going to hear it again. So when he says, guys, I don't know what's in the middle of guys, ... down the hill. Because for the longest time, all we heard was down the hill. I'd love to hear the whole 46 seconds. Again, I'm not privy to these things, but it's making me think, especially, I can't imagine it being just one person. I just can't. Not a big deal if I'm wrong. I just can't imagine it. So it's going to be guys, something in the middle, down the hill. It could be the guys are down the hill because, they're teenage girls. They're wanting to meet the boy.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, guys, I need help down the hill. Guys, my dog is lost. She's down the hill. You know what I mean? They're leaving something out for a reason.
Something to get them down that hill.
Yes. You picked up on this in the last show too. Joy Catcher said it seemed in footage he was packing things, hiding things under his jacket or in his pants, but I don't know for sure. It seemed to me he was fumbling around a little bit too.
Yeah. Yeah. And how long of a time period between the time their dad or their sister dropped him off till the time their dad was supposed to pick him up? It wasn't a big window.
I mean, almost
An
2
hour,
hours right on the
2
dot.
hours.
It was a little bit after 1 o'clock p.m. and a little bit after 3 p.m. So that's a very short time frame because they have the Snapchat picture of Abby out on the bridge. I think all communication with Libby's phone, we're going to watch a clip with the family talking. I believe all communication on her phone was lost around the little after 2 o'clock mark. I could be wrong. So something happened quickly.
Which makes me think that it was set up because you don't just, the stars would have to align for this to be a chance meeting.
And in such a public place. School
Exactly.
was out. It was an unseasonably warm day. So a lot of people were out there. That's why, you
And
and I, when we heard the birds on this video we're going to see in a
exactly.
little bit, we said somebody would have heard them scream, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's maddening.
It is. Another comment from Saffron Rice said, whoever murdered those little girls has done this before. You don't stage and take trophies of not one but two kids. He had to have known what he was doing and was well practiced.
Absolutely agree.
I don't doubt that at all.
This is not something you just do on a whim. It was planned and orchestrated. It's just sick.
And it could be several people, someone to lure them out there. We've been talking to Keegan. Someone to come across the bridge and make up the story to get them down the hill. Someone down there waiting, like an ambush or something. I don't know. But Sarah's kind of leaning where you and I are leaning, where she says, I really believe this was done by multiple predators. When these sick people find each other and bond over the sick things they like, they will do those sick things together and cover up for each other.
Good point.
Mm-hmm. This case gives me the chills. It really does.
I got goosebumps right now.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to play a clip where the family is talking about how things went down that day, just to give us a little better understanding from their perspective.
Okie dokie.
Our granddaughter Libby was flat out killed.
My daughter Abby and her friend Libby were found murdered.
For what? No clue. Two innocent girls walking on the trails, laughing, giggling, taking pictures.
The girls stuck together right up to the end.
Every child is a lot of your life, and you can't ever imagine losing any one of them.
It's your theory that this is likely the killer.
Absolutely.
Have they been able to high res this picture and get a better image of the face and all than what we have here?
This is as good as it gets. When I say that the FBI said, we've had a lot of people working, NASA, Disney, you name it, we worked on it, we've tried. This is the best we can do because everybody assumes that we can.
Okay, and I guess based on this and on witness.
Makes you wonder what it looked like when they first retrieved the picture and the video. If they've had NASA work on it, the Disney company, that one threw me for a loop, to resolve the image to what we have.
Right. Did they say where the phone was found? Perhaps it was in the creek.
No, and I've always wondered about that myself. You know that they have a phone. They're teenagers. It's a very likely assumption. You wouldn't leave them with their phone. If the phone was dropped, you're going to take that phone and make sure nobody gets that phone.
unless they were busy otherwise.
Unless this was part of the game.
Ooh.
Because we can't get that creepy image out of our head, can we?
No.
Says they came up with a sketch.
That is correct.
And this,
All right, guys, this is from several years ago. There's another sketch now, and they still look somewhat similar. But anyway, this is the first sketch, I believe.
is the sketch, and this does, maybe it's just suggestibility or whatever, but it does look like the picture. But this is based on witnesses saying what they saw of a man there at the time, right?
That is correct.
Yes.
Yeah, that was from an eyewitness person who saw a person that looked like this leaving that area around that time that day.
Uh-huh. Okay, and then at 4 o'clock, you went to the trails, right?
My son, who was picking Libby up, called me and said she's not answering the phone.
Uh-huh.
And that was at 3:30. So my daughter and I both kept calling and messaging and texting Libby, and there was no answer. So it was just about 4 o'clock, I called my husband at work and said, Libby's not answering her phone. They're out at the trails. There's something wrong.
What did you think had happened at that point?
We probably figured that maybe they fell or got hurt or something, maybe that they just couldn't, or lost her phone.
Uh-huh.
You know.
See, they're thinking something normal, unlike another case we cover. You know, God forbid they're out there hurt somewhere, or they've lost their phone and they're lost.
Right.
We need to go out there and find them. You know, they don't know, they don't have a compass. They don't know north, south, east, or west. So I thought this was important that the family didn't just jump to the most horrific thing.
Well, exactly. Why would they? Nobody wants to think that.
No, we can't wrap our mind around things like that. Imagine these people are going through hell.
Yes.
You know, there's still people that are harassing the grandpa here on Dr. Phil.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, still harassing her sister that dropped him off.
What is wrong with people? Honestly.
Internet 101, I'm telling you.
And I just had a thought. What if Rich guy told them get down the hill and turned around and walked back across?
Like he went back across the bridge and like met them on the other side, or he's not involved in the killings at all. He got them down the hill and then he left because they said saw him around that time. Well, around that time, I don't know if they mean around that time leading up to, because after certainly wasn't during. I'm not trying to be graphic.
Right. I'm just wondering if there were people down there under that bridge and he got them to go down there, but he walked back across. So he would have an alibi. I don't know. I'm just thinking.
Well, yeah, well, it makes sense. And also, they're teenage girls. They want to hang out with the teenage boys, not his old ass.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have hung with him for too long. Where did the sketch witnesses see the person? I'd love to know. Did they see this guy walking by himself, just meandering across the bridge? Did they see him with the girls, or just happen to see him around later in the afternoon? I don't know.
I don't know either. I want to know.
Me too. And this is crazy. Linda says, Evansville, Iowa murders, 7/13/12, Delphi, 2/13/17. Dates are exactly reversed. There's a lot of oddities in this case, and we haven't gotten into all the odd things that are in this case.
That just sent a chill down my back.
Mm-hmm. Sue, animal lover. Sue, glad you're here. She said, I believe also that the two different sketches are the two involved in this horrific crime. We're probably looking at two people. I'm not putting rumors out there. It's just my opinion. All right. The police have not asked for my help. God forbid anyone ever ask for my help. It just seems impossible to me. You're talking about a very small time frame.
Exactly.
Maybe they fell and the phone came out of her hand or something and couldn't answer. So we were just looking for them laying somewhere.
So you called the police at 5 o'clock?
It was a little after 5.
A little after 5, I called the police.
Okay.
We'd been searching as a family, couldn't find anything. And so, okay, it's going to start getting dark. Let's get the police involved here. And they immediately came out in force, started walking the trails with us, looking for the girls.
And so by 6 o'clock, there's a search underway, right? You said a lot of people came out.
Yeah, most of the town was out. People were out all over the streets of Delphi, flashlights, walking, just groups, and hundreds of people seem to be coming out to help us look.
People split up and went through each finger of that trail system. We don't know which direction he came from or where he went.
Within an hour and 23 minutes of her last Snapchat post.
Okay, that's important. Hang on. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Hang on, I got to hear that again.
To help us look.
People split up and went through each finger of that trail system. We don't know which direction he came from or where he went.
Within an hour and 23 minutes of her last Snapchat post, you were there, looking around.
So think about that. This had to have been done. There could not have been anything going on because she said we had people out there looking at, every part of that trail. There was a very heavy presence. So unless...
My point exactly. The stars would have to align for it to be a chance meeting.
An hour and 23 minutes. So oh, okay.
I know.
Okay. We're going to get through this.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, hour and 23 minutes. You're there looking around. You don't see anybody. You don't see the guy. And he just disappears.
Well, actually, there was somebody there at 3:14. Libby's dad was there to pick them up.
At 3:14.
At 3:14. He called them first at 3:11 and said, I'm almost there. Start heading back to the trailhead. And he got there at 3:14 and called them again and said, hey, I'm here. And she still didn't answer. So he started walking the trails.
Okay, that's 41 minutes.
Yes, at that time, he started walking the trails. He called me at 3:30. So he had already been there for 16 minutes.
Oh, that's totally different for me. Totally different. I didn't even think about that. Dad didn't pull up and say, oh, they're not here and go back home. 3:14. So it's less than an hour and 23 minutes. He's out there and he's screaming their names. If they're not answering their phone, he's yelling their names. Wow.
Yeah, my mind's blown.
I am too. Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. So let's listen to what is haunting. Oh, real quick. Joy Catcher said, change into dry clothes and blend in, be in the search and maybe direct them in a different direction. I don't know. That's what I'm wondering too. And we're going to talk about one of the press conferences on the next show we do for Delphi. Of course, it was from years ago where the hair on your arm will stand up when Doug Carter is saying he could be right here in this room. He could have gone and changed and came right back. Not the same hat on, could have shaved, could have put on totally different clothes and been part of the search. We don't know.
He could have been the one who told the father that he saw somebody cross the bridge.
Could you think about this? Think about how crazy this would be if their suspect was one of the eyewitnesses.
That's what I'm saying.
Janice, no, this happened in 2017. We've been talking about it in Facebook groups, for years, but we're going back through it on here.
Does she not know you're the replay queen?
For real. Beat that dead horse, don't I?
Sometimes they need beat.
Downhill. 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 Downhill.
Okay, I can only listen to so much of that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's the audio recording. Hang on.
Doesn't that look like a fanny pack?
It does look like he has something on there. And I've looked at this picture a million times. And yeah, Tamara's like, that's an older male's voice, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me get these videos loaded that our friend took. Hold on one second, because these are just from last week.
Yeah.
Kenny goes, yeah, they got more videos than they're releasing. Yeah, 46 seconds, and all we've heard is just that little bit, like 2 seconds at the most. Stop that. Give me a second. Hello, muscles and mascara.
Come on up.
And I hit the wrong one. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I really appreciate her doing this.
Absolutely. I wish she'd come up.
She's at a closing today. She's got adulting to do.
There's no fun in that.
Nope.
Here's the approach. My husband gave me his permission to record the back of them. He knows what lunatics lurk in true crime community. He's heard the stories. So he didn't want his face out there. Let's see.
Okay, so her husband walks. He doesn't have like a gait, like a limp or anything like that. So this is how. So now they're making their approach.
Right.
I wanted to record the approach. And when he's walking across the bridge, I'm going to stand still. He's got an even gait, as you can see. Walks normally. He does have water bottles in both his pockets, so hopefully that's not making him too lumpy walking. So just for comparison. And then I'll stand still again and record him across the bridge to see if it looks like he's lumping. And I'm going to try to catch up. I don't see it fenced off anymore. Where is it? He looks hesitant.
Okay, she had it turned sideways for a second, but hang on.
What do you think? I'm not recording your face. I just moved the camera down.
And there's, as we know, no rails. It is straight down.
Yeah, it made me dizzy when she filmed it. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they have the flowers. I asked her, I said, I mean, I can tell they're not real flowers. And she said there's like memorials put all around there for the girls.
Oh, so sad.
See, there's another one.
All right. So it's gonna, I mean, I don't want you to get hurt or anything. I was gonna record you walking at least like a few steps to see if it makes you look like you're limping, since there's debate about bridge guy.
Okay, he's a little off in his step. So the guy might not really have the gait. Let me look again.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna do your feet. I'm not showing your face. You want to do me?
No, because I don't want you to get hurt. I'll go further.
No. I don't. If your gut says not to, do not.
It's dangerous, honey. It's not worth it.
Yeah, look how far down that is.
Oh,
And he walked across it, I mean, with such ease. That's why I put up that comment by I plead the fifth, where she says, and that bridge, no way he walked across that bridge, that being his first time. No way.
exactly. He was at ease.
No, this is not some escalator at the mall. No, he's been on it before.
100%.
Yeah, Joy Catcher, exactly. Good point. She said he had his hands in his pockets as well.
Exactly.
He
was
wasn't
at
trying
ease.
to balance or anything like that. What were you saying, Susan?
I said he's at ease. He's done it before.
And think about that. He's at total ease, just walking across the bridge because he's done it before and he knows what's about to happen.
And look what shape those ties are in.
Yes, thank you.
No, because I don't want you to get hurt. I'll go further.
No. I don't. If your gut says not to, do not.
It's dangerous, honey. It's not worth it.
I can't believe I read that they had it fenced off, but it was easy to get around. Now I don't see any fence anywhere. Do you?
Probably trying to keep the ghouls away.
Yeah, but no fence. It is dangerous. Not even posted that it's dangerous. That's a.
Does anybody know about that? We talked about that in Discord, that it was actually fenced off and now the fences are gone.
The only thing I can think of is people were climbing over them and they were going to get hurt, so they just took them down. But
okay.
Even that, I'd take that whole freaking bridge down.
I'd put something up. They may have to keep it there until they get this solved. I thought about that too.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Just crossed my mind. Cooley, welcome. Is it Cooley or Collie? I hate when I mispronounce people's names. It says, my legs feel funny just watching. Mine too.
Unbelievable.
Back at the very front, back at the parking lot, it said something.
Yeah. How many people read?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wish is there another way to get to the other side without going across the bridge with one of these trails? I see a little trail there and you're not.
I don't have any idea how you gotta get across the creek.
I'm going to look at the All Trails app and see. Maybe there's another way to drive over there. Okay, so to give you an idea, I'm going to put my hiking boot. I'm even scared to do that. I wear a size 8 hiking boot.
Oh, you can see between those slats really good.
Oh, you can. Have you ever walked on the railroad tracks?
Yeah, but not that high up.
Oh, no. No, absolutely not.
That makes me nervous. Real nervous. Hang on. True Crime with Shannon. Big treat. How you doing, True Crime with Shannon?
Hey, what's up, ladies?
Not much. What are you thinking about this?
All right, I don't think I would cross that, but I agree with you, Brooks. I think that they're not going to destroy it until they get this case solved. And I mean, I don't know if they blocked it off. I think it maybe, like you said, they had to take it down because people wanted to go check it out. But I don't think they should destroy it until this case is solved. And hopefully it's not too much longer. But it's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. It does look scary, but I kind of want to see it in person.
Oh, yeah, lots of people do, but, I don't think they have the nerve to cross it. Then I go back to what, Joy Catcher and Plead the Fifth, several people were saying in chat. This guy was way too comfortable, breathing across that bridge. Anybody else would approach it, say it's their first time, and they're like, nah, this is not my day to meet my maker.
Yeah, I think everyone thinks, oh, it doesn't look so bad, but probably when you get there, you probably look at it and you're like, I don't know. It looks so old. There's big holes, and you hit the wrong thing, and you could be a goner.
And he had his hands in his pockets. So
yeah.
If he tripped, he could even catch himself.
Yeah, he was too confident for sure. And I don't know. I mean, I don't think he was as big of a guy as he looks in the few seconds we've seen, because I think he's just overloaded with oversized clothes and stuff in his pockets. So that's why I think they say the second sketch is so much more pertinent. But it's so hard to know. I mean, I feel like they've just had so much confusion in this case. It's like, okay, and I feel the frustration that the families have. And I know Abby's mom is the most frustrated, but I think the rest of them, Libby's side is really getting their frustrations. They're starting to talk about it too. So, I think that they know they have some ideas, but they just ain't saying. And I would really wish we could get more of that. I heard it was 43 seconds, not 46. Then somebody else said it was 53 seconds. So I don't know. It's between 43 and 50 something seconds. So, I mean, we definitely don't have much of it. That's for sure.
No, and I still think it's spliced. I don't think the complete sentence was guys down the hill. I think there is a phrase in between guys and down the hill.
Exactly.
All right, I'm going to push this back just a little bit.
That I wear a size 8 hiking boot. It's very uneven on the top too. It's not just a part like this is a round log.
That's crazy. Yeah, it looks like it's so worn. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
nice to get like a drone covering it like really close to it, and then doing like point of view kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think I just changed my mind about walking a little couple of steps, unless you spot me.
I'll film it so they say they'll know I didn't do it.
That's hilarious.
Okay, if I
think
fall,
you thought about crossing it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I hadn't seen this one before. That would scare me. Wow.
10-inch height difference.
Yeah, because she just took this last week. I got to go back. I want to hear what she said real quick.
Okay, if I fall, worst thing that can happen is I drop my phone.
No, worse than that, hun.
Yeah.
Even like a 10-inch height difference from where you start to, and then it's higher there. So being uneven. Okay, I'm done. It's all I can do to keep my balance on this. My feet are shaking from trying to balance. So what I want to find out, I want to go over there and see what kind of hiding places there were. So we'll try to figure that out.
Jeez.
She's amazing.
She didn't even make it but like one step. Poor girl.
She made it farther
That's
than I
crazy.
would have.
Yeah, I think I keep thinking, oh, I'd go on it, but I don't know. I think getting there is a whole different situation. Seeing it in person, you're probably like, oh, I don't know. You know, you might need somebody to have some kind of line attached to you so they could pull you if you fall. You
As
know.
deteriorated as those ties are, you would not get me out on there. Nope.
Yeah, I think it's like you said. I think it's you think when you look at it, you're like, oh, it looks bad, but maybe I'll try it. But then you get there, you're like, not no. You start to think that that's not intelligent anymore.
Had myself muted. All right, so I just loaded another one. This is continued, and this is kind of where she does a pan, and she's showing us like the different trails and stuff.
All kinds of makeshift. Looks like all kinds of makeshift campsites or something back here.
Oh, is this like the other side of the bridge?
Let's see how shallow the creek is down there.
Hang on.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so
Well,
like
there's the
from
bridge,
right there,
it looks like.
she is. There's the bridge. So you see all the foliage and everything. So she's showing like different trails. There's some campsites back there. Obviously, it wouldn't have been like the thick foliage and everything that there is right now because it was in February. And so you can see the bridge from where they're at.
So are they at the side approaching it from the parking lot?
I think they're on the same side that she was already on.
Okay. Because I was curious if they were on the other side near Ron Logan's, RL's side. Get to be careful on that side. I hear the other neighbor doesn't like anybody over there.
I've heard that. I mean, who could really blame them though?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Get the hell out of here. Yeah. They're going, get the hell out of here. I'd be get off my property.
I'm pretty sure he would have approached them from where we started out to kind of trap them down there. I don't see why he would have started at the other end of the bridge.
Okay, so what she's doing, she's looking and she's like, I don't see why he would start at the other end of the bridge.
But that's what he did.
Huh.
So then we go into our second man theory. There's somebody hiding in the woods down the hill. You're coming up this other side. And she said they trap him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the two-man theory is starting to become more popular. People are thinking that there's two and that there was weapons involved.
Because it would have been they made their getaway easier.
Really creeps me out seeing the bridge from this vantage point.
Yeah, because there wouldn't be any leaves to hide anything.
Yeah, you'd be able to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the question is, would they be paying attention to that? You wouldn't think that they probably thought there was any kind of threat.
If there was ill intent with the people, well, we know there were, they would have to be worried about people seeing them.
Yeah.
Right. And then we go back to the time that we just heard on the clip where when Libby's grandma, she said it was actually even a shorter amount of time from when the last Snapchat was taken. It was actually 41 minutes from when Libby's dad was out there looking for him.
Which gives my theory a better understanding, because the bridge guy went back across the bridge. He could be the lookout.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, so horrible. All right. Okay.
Okay, there she has it a little closer up. And there wasn't all these leaves and everything in February.
Perfect site.
Yeah, it would be pretty bare.
So they had to have been able to see from the other side.
Okay. We're going to go see if there's a way to get to the other side of the bridge without waders on. By trail somehow or by car. Okay. This looks like all kinds of makeshift camps.
Okay. Wow.
So I guess she goes to the other side after this. Okay.
Yeah,
There's a lot more trails than I would have thought on that side.
Yeah, and it's just really when I didn't pick it up until she was, talking about it, and she said, it's school's out, beautiful day, not too hot, not too cool, and like they're the only ones out there.
Well, then I heard that they said a lot of people claimed that they were out there, but maybe it was earlier.
No, I mean the day that our friends were out there. Sorry.
Oh, okay. There are these guys. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Maybe the locals stay away from there now.
What's on this trail? See if it.
I wouldn't hang out there. Something like that had happened.
Bridge, and maybe he popped out and said, "Guys down the hill." I know he followed them though, but he could have been back here. Remember, it would have been a lot of gravelly sounds and probably giggling. He could have hidden easily back here and seen them approach. Or did he approach from the other side? Okay, never mind. I'm exploring. Okay. I'm going to see what's on this trail. See if it runs kind of parallel to the bridge, and maybe he popped out and said, "Guys down the hill." I know he followed them though, but he could have been back here. Remember, it would have been a lot of gravelly sounds and probably giggling. He could have hidden easily back here and seen them approach. Or did he approach from the other side? Okay, never mind. I'm exploring.
Okay, that's kind of on loop now. All right, I'm probably gonna go back to the one where he was on the bridge again, because that creeps me out.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your theory on this, Shannon?
I think now the more and more we've heard about it, I really do think that there was two, and maybe that's why the sketches are so odd.
At least two.
And there's got to be two. I really think, and I don't, like I said, I don't think it's the Kleins at all. I think there's a connection to the Anthony shots, but maybe somebody else, got in on that, and because I don't think that, Keegan is he's too into it. They would have figured it out by now if it was Keegan. And he definitely wasn't on the bridge. He would. I can't see him on there.
They have his DNA. He's in jail, so he wasn't. I mean, they don't have his DNA anywhere on the girls. I mean, it could be three people. I mean, like what Joycatcher said.
Yeah.
Cross the creek, even, because we're talking. I'm not trying to be gruesome here. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. We're talking about dead weight. We're talking about teenage girls. They're not carrying a 2-year-old.
And they said that Libby fought. And what's odd about that search warrant, of Logan's property, how they said there was no sign of struggle. It was the horrible wording, because there was obviously a struggle. And I was like, whoever wrote that, I'm like, really? Come on now. Like, we believe that for anything? Because I know Libby struggled. I mean, and I don't know, they didn't mention too much about Abby, but she definitely fought. And I'm really hoping they have some DNA.
I have
Huh?
I've never heard that there was any struggle. And that's
I
one
haven't either.
That's one thing that's always puzzled me. No scream, no struggle. I mean, if they knew them, they could have sized that down by now because, well, the girls had phones who
Right.
they've been communicating with. Then you have a staged crime scene, so they get moved from where this horrific murder takes place. All murders are horrific, don't get me wrong. Across a creek to another area, 2 girls, not just one, teenage girls. We're not talking a 5 or 6-year-old. And the crime scene is staged, set up.
Well, stage can mean that they were, but I don't know if they were necessarily killed by the creek or they were dragged from the creek and then killed where they were located, because staging means that they just move the bodies in a certain way.
Impose them.
Right. So the staging in that sort of thing could be very little, just certain things they did, or it could be they completely moved them. So I think that one is very open. We're not sure, but they definitely were not. I mean, I think that they made it to the creek. I think that at least one, they both ran, and I think one of them maybe fell, and then the other one wasn't going to leave them. I mean, I believe that's still pretty possible.
That's
because
a good
they would never leave each other. They wouldn't. I don't think that maybe Abby was getting away and Libby wasn't, and she fell, or vice versa. So
yeah, I don't know about anything like that. I mean, obviously the girls stuck together, and I just wonder if it was, not going to leave each other. Maybe one was tied up and the other one wouldn't, or I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. And there's also, sadly, like I said, as disturbing as it might be, this case is obviously a disturbing, triggering case, that somebody mentioned that there's still, we haven't heard, but there still could be some odd video out there in the dark web.
Oh.
Because it's been mentioned too. And I know it's, like I said, it's highly disturbing. And I mean, I hope that that's not true, but that's been stated as a possibility. And I'm sure if that's true, Ellie knows about it. I mean, I would hope so, but
so after 5 years, and I'm not really good at running with those rumors and stuff like that. I can't wrap my mind around that stuff.
Yeah, I won't mention it when I usually post about it. I just know that I've heard it and I'm like, well, it's possible. And I'm hoping that that's not true. But the thing is that you have, Doug Carter keeps talking about how they're so close, and it's such a frustrating thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, like I said, we're not even the family, and we're all following this case, whether we followed it from the beginning or whatever. And it's like, we can see how frustrating this is. It's like over 5 years. And it's like, this is just crazy. I mean, to me, between this, and I know you guys have probably looked into the Flora fires, Carroll County to me is highly inefficient. It's like they got so many issues in Carroll County. I mean, I don't know. I mean, ISP I think has better track record, but I don't know what's going on in Carroll County, because they have 2 big cases that they cannot solve, or I don't know, or they know something and they're not putting it out.
Yeah, I think with something like this, you kind of want to keep it under your vest. You know what I mean? Because Doug Carter has said on more than one occasion, whoever did this, whoever's responsible, they're the only ones that know. And then you would get people that are crazy. They're crazy. So if they give all the information, this is how we found them staged. This was the trophy that was taken. So you bring up, basically another video that could be possible. We don't know. And
yeah, I'm not against him. I'm not against them keeping certain things to the best. And I think that even though we're all, because let's be honest, we're all super nosy because we want to know. That's what it's all about. We want to find it out. And with any of these cases, we all want to know. And I do my best also not to spread we can all talk about the stuff. I always say it's a rumor. It's it's out there, but I make sure you say this has not been official at all. But there is a lot of crazy stuff I refuse to even go near. But as far as I understand in a way that they're keeping it, but also it's very frustrating, and I think the family has seen the complete video, but I'm not sure, if they have or not. I'm sure if they wanted to, I would hope so.
My understanding is no, they haven't.
Mm.
Which would make sense. Because no one's closer to the case than the family, and that would be almost impossible to keep to yourself. It's a tiny town.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, like you get into these rumors, and I hate them when they go, "Oh, this, Libby's family, this and that," and I'm like, "That's not even remotely I'm interested in." I said, "That's got nothing to do what happens to these poor girls. You can't convince me otherwise unless they seriously have something." Because to me, this was somehow either related to the Anthony shots, and I don't believe it was TK or KK, even though they're both horrible human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Because the apple was not fall far from the tree on the son there from his father, because I've heard enough about his father. But I think that account has a lot of issues going on, and I think right now they're concentrating on that account, and I'm hoping that there's probably some connection to whoever was there. It may have been, they learned about, Libby from there, because she was the one on there communicating with that account.
Mhm.
And it's unfortunate that that happened, because poor the Patty was like, I wish I knew. I mean, obviously kids aren't, sadly kids are not going to tell their parents a lot of stuff,
No.
where they live with their family. They're just not going to tell them, and they were young girls.
Yeah.
So it's
And
like,
we were all that age. We all knew better than mom and dad, better than grandma and grandpa.
oh yeah,
Better. We all knew better. And then
oh yeah, mom and dad don't know, and as you get older, you realize, man, they really do know stuff, and then you don't want to tell them that they know stuff until you're much older. Then you're like, man, I wish I would have, but you have to learn it on your own. And unfortunately, there are some that they just can't, they don't get to learn from it. They're just gone, and it's horrific.
That's true.
This case is such an anomaly, though. It's not random. We have this bridge that, I mean, it looks like you would have to be a trapeze artist to get across. He walks across it with great ease. He's obviously not a teenager. We don't know what was said. They're not going to tell us for lots of reasons. It's staged. A trophy was taken. Could the trophy have been a photo of the handiwork, clothing? I don't know. A swatch of hair? I don't know. There's unknown DNA. So through everything that everybody they have shaken down, nobody matches that DNA.
I think that honestly, I don't think there maybe was enough DNA that's been mentioned to match everything that they need. Or, I think that, like, I do think Doug is right. Somebody knows who Bridge Guy is, and they're just not saying. And it must be they have something on this person so tight that, but it's a small town, and like, I don't live in a small town, so I can't relate to it, but they say small towns they are very tight, and they keep their dirty secrets. And it's like, this is one of them. And I mean, I'm sure parts of the town really wish somebody would come forward, but maybe they feel like that if they come forward, that their life is over. I don't know. We don't know, but somebody does know who Bridge Guy is. I still think that that's true. Somebody knows who he is.
Oh yeah, the guy's got to go to work. He's got to go shopping for food.
Somebody knows who he is.
He's got
a
car. And the thing, I'm from a small town, and if something like this happened in my town, it'd be all hands on deck. Who saw this guy? Who saw this guy? Everybody would be racking their brains to try to figure out, how does he look familiar?
That's why I feel like the whole, even though it's over, it's in the same county. That's what I'm saying. Carroll County seems to have a lot of hidden stuff going on, and we don't know, because you have the Flora fires, and that was an arson that they even argued it, and they lost a whole bunch of people. They decided to quit. I mean, how odd is it that 3 months, like not even 3 months before this happened, and I don't think it has a relation as far as who did it, but I just think it goes to show that Carroll County's got some real secrets, and that town, I guess, they just don't want to talk for whatever the reason is, and I don't know what it is. And there was a story, though, it comes to mind. I don't know if you heard about it, Brooke, where there was a wife was driving down and saw some guy said his vehicle was stuck, and he was waiting for his ride.
Yeah, I heard there was a strange car, but it seems
the guy was acting weird. But they think that that's not Bridge Guy, but it was odd. he was acting really strange. So that was definitely an oddity.
Well, and it was like almost like it was a like a getaway driver or something, just parked in a random spot.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any connection there or not, but it's just another oddity of the day.
Yeah, that's another one that is still nobody has any explanation for, because they're like, well, yeah, was this person involved or weren't they? Because I'm not sure if that story's been cleared or not, because I haven't heard that it has. It's one of those that still comes up, and it's like the whole CPS building situation. And it's like you hear, oh, it's been cleared, but they're like, no, it hasn't really. So I mean, there's a lot of questions, more questions than we have answers still. And over 5 years later, it's just so frustrating.
I think it goes back to the unknown DNA. Because, I mean, no defense attorney is going to let them, let's say they say, okay, it's Keegan. That's it. Done. Solved. They're like, okay, well, then how come this sample does not match him? How come? And don't tell me with all the labs that we have in this country that that's not enough of a sample for you. This was 2017. It was not 1997. They have gotten DNA from crime scenes from the early 80s and solved crimes.
That's true.
Yeah.
We just did a case about Holly that was found, she'd been missing for 42 years in Oklahoma. This was old ass contaminated DNA.
Yeah, I really do think that at least one of the girls, and I believe Libby, since she seemed to be the more proactive of the two. I mean, I'm not saying Abby couldn't have, but I really believe that she would have done everything she could to scratch her. That's why when they say there wasn't a struggle, I go, I don't believe it at all. I just don't believe it. For me, it's like, when they say that I don't believe there wasn't a struggle. I'm not believing that at all.
It just seems to me there had to have been more than one person, and they're going to stay tight-lipped because they don't want to go down together,
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to me like when you see the descent, down the hill, that there were several spots that 2 sickos, 3 sickos, whatever, him from behind could have ambushed these girls, and they're basically scared to death, and then the unthinkable happens.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think that one person did it either. I think that, like I said, I was thinking for a long time, and I'm like, no, it has to be 2. I think that bridge guy is one, and there was another hidden, if at least one. That was, so.
Yeah, especially getting them across the creek. Like they're going to walk across the creek? That makes no sense to me. It's like, what's on the, sorry about your dog, mister, or whatever, but no. Then you were going to have some screaming and yelling.
It's February and that water is cold.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're teenage girls. They're going to be like, no, it's cold.
Yeah. There's just, I mean, I think we're just like hoping that some kind of break. We've always thought with the Anthony shots we'd have a break, but I don't think we have much of a break as we hoped for. I mean, but.
Man, you're right. The last 5 years, every time in this case, there's been an update. Even if they have just found old information that wasn't revealed before, I'm like, this is it. This is it. They finally, I still thought the creepy guy that was training his pit bull to go after cats. I'm like, oh, they got him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you could understand from that original search warrant why they wanted to search Logan's property and everything, because he was definitely not a good guy.
No, definitely
wasn't. Do I think he may have known something? Absolutely. He may have been privy to some information, yes, because it was his land.
I still can't get over, again, another weird coincidence. His property, his land. Why would you have to have someone make up an alibi for you? If you have nothing to do with it, just say, I was taking a nap. I was watching TV. I don't know. I didn't know anything was going on. You have nothing.
Well, he was on like he wasn't allowed to go out. Apparently he was on like restriction. So
that was a bad day. That was a bad day, to try to
the worst. Well, because he went to the dump or something. He did that, and then I guess so he was trying to cover his tracks, but they're saying that, the time was still a little bit off, but you know, they would have found something on his property, I think, if it was him. But I think he knew something. Maybe he was told to get off the property at that time. I don't know. You know, he was pretty sketchy. So, you know, he may have had some, you know, weird connections to folks, and, you know, maybe he owed some money or something, who knows? And they said, you know, hey, you know, we're going to do something here. You need to leave for an hour or two. I don't know.
Hang on. Yeah, a lot of people have asked about this. That movie came out on Netflix, and coincidentally, again, it took place in Indiana, about the doctor that was impregnating his patients with his own sample.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People grew up, they got curious. Do I have a sibling out there? And all comes back. Not only do I have a ton of siblings, we all came from the doctor. That was all solved through this familial DNA. And wasn't Holly's case too, Susan?
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe so.
So a lot of people have been saying, why aren't they doing that yet?
And they may be.
I don't know. I would think with all the technology we have, we'd have more by now, for sure, with this DNA and all this evidence, because, like you said, they've solved crimes from decades ago.
Mm-hmm.
I find it hard to believe that we don't have more from this scene, you know, than they're saying. So I just think we just don't know. But why are we so held up and nothing's going forward? Even if they don't tell us exactly, they should be saying we have something going on, we just can't tell you, you know. But it's like it's this continuing, you know, horrible mystery of these poor, you know, innocent girls. And, you know, I feel for the family because they're over it.
I
They're
do.
in limbo.
I mean, this is their life. This is, you know, daughter, granddaughter, sister, and, you know, and they've got to be, they're living a nightmare every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we, like I said, we're frustrated, but man, we didn't even know these girls. I say the same thing when you hold the whole Gabby Petito thing. It's like, I'm always frustrated for the victims and their families, and can you imagine being a part of that circle? Gotta be like times 10 or something.
Wouldn't want to be. You never want other people's problems. I wouldn't want to be. I couldn't.
Oh, no.
I just don't think I could function. I just don't think I have it in me.
In this day and age, they like to go around and dig into the family and stuff and call. I'm like, why are you this family is mourning someone's death and murder? And that's secondly, I'm like, why are you digging into, there's a missing child or a missing whatever, and you're like, oh, this person's into gambling or whatever. I'm like, what does that have to do with this missing daughter or son? I don't understand. It's like, why are you
add to their pain?
That part of it, I will really never get. I mean, of course, some things come out and it drops our jaw and we're like, oh my God. And then some of it kind of directly relates to what led up to the child going missing. But in this case, no one's missing. They were murdered.
Yeah.
That part of the mystery is over. It's who was there, who did it. You've got a picture, you've got audio, you've got some unknown DNA. There's a problem.
Very little time.
Yep.
That's why, you know, they bring in Patty's into it. I'm like, no, I don't believe for a second it was family at all.
Yeah.
Not even for a hot second.
They probably got the family's DNA before anybody's. We got to clear all of we got to clear all of you first.
And they even said they understood that part at the beginning. And, you know, any family would say, I understand that. Because nowadays, if God forbid something happens to someone in your family, they're going to automatically want to test everything, you know, anybody that's close to that family. And if you didn't have anything to do with it, you're like, good, please do. You know, and then clear me, and then you're done.
That's how I take that they all are. I don't think you could refuse.
No, I don't think you can.
If your child or grandchild went missing, especially if they're, I mean, you have to rule yourself out of the
volunteering.
equation.
You're going to be volunteering it. Clear me first.
And from what I understand, the entire family did that.
And how anybody can accuse them after that point. Their DNA didn't match.
Yeah.
And they weren't there. Grandpa was at work. Grandma was home. Kelsey dropped him off before she went to work. The dad came to pick him up a little after 3. Everybody's accounted for.
Exactly.
Except bridge guy and whoever was waiting down there for them to go down the hill.
Yep.
And Joy Catcher said, not just local LE, but the state LE, they have bosses. That would be hard to cover up. I don't think there's a snowball's chance in Cuba they can cover this up. It's been on Good Morning America, The Today Show, News Nation, Crime Con, Dr. Phil, every major newspaper in the nation, Inside Edition. I don't have enough fingers and toes to count everybody that knows about it. It's impossible. It's in plain sight.
Exactly.
Absolutely. There's no way they're going to be able to. And if they have been doing that, something's gonna break on it, because for 5 years, no.
I'm not buying it.
I don't buy it either.
Especially when you see how just beside himself Doug Carter gets when he's talking about this. There was one news conference, I thought, man, somebody called the doctor. This dude, he's going to have a stroke.
Exactly.
He's going to have a stroke.
He was coming unglued.
Yep.
You could hear the rage in his voice.
And I think he knows that we're all frustrated with what he's saying, but that's all he can do.
We are frustrated, and he's looking at the evidence, and he's frustrated.
And he's got, he's telling us, what they feel okay with saying. Because, like I said, they don't want some crazy rando going, oh, I did it. And they have this information because they need to keep, every case they got to keep something, and they must feel like that these are information that they have to keep. As much as we hate that they're doing that, that's what they're doing. We have to feel like they're doing the right thing. And especially if they haven't told the family, because they know that would come out somehow from them.
Well, yeah, because people talk.
Yeah, there's no way that they wouldn't talk.
You have a very, very, very small community. The end of this will be a jury trial, unless somebody just pleads guilty and they can prove it was really them. Because even when people confess, they still have to prove their confession. Crazy world we live in. It's the truth. So you have a very small jury pool as it is. If they already know everything, they walk in with their mind made up. That's a defense attorney's wet dream.
Well, I think if they get somebody, unless that they have evidence, it won't be tried in Carroll County. I think they'll probably move it.
They'll move it.
Because there's no way that they can get a fair trial in Carroll County.
No.
Not just Delphi, the whole county. They'll have to move it.
It's too prejudicial. Because people knew these girls. And they're going to be out for
if they ever get anybody for the arson on Florida, they're going to have to move it out of the county. These big cases, they have to usually move them, unless there's like a huge, and they usually do. They move them to another county, one county over. You still could have a lot of stuff going on there, but at least it's not the same county. So
could be, but we're going to keep following it, right, girls?
Absolutely.
Yep, we ain't giving up.
Hey, Shannon, thanks for coming up. It was a real finally getting to meet you and talk to you. Love how your mind works and how you follow these cases. Love seeing you in chat and everything, and finally getting to have you on panel.
Great. It was nice to talk to you, ladies. You have a great rest of the day.
Don't be shy. When we have that link up, be sure to grab it.
Okay, I will do. Have a great one, ladies.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Well, that was interesting. That was very interesting. She had a lot of really good thoughts on the case. Of course, you've been following it forever and a day too, and you always do too. It's just, it's kind of like when we talk about in some other cases that seem like they're at a dead end. We're like, there's a lot more to it than just what we're seeing.
Exactly.
There's way more to this than just
I hope so.
this creep walking across the bridge. It obviously is not that easy.
No, it never is.
Nope. Well, my friend, I'm going to start winding this down, and I will see you over in Discord in just a couple shakes.
Sure thing.
All right. You're the best.
Thanks for having me. Bye, guys.
Let's give a big hand of applause to our friend 7 Alibis for getting that footage last week. Attempting to go across the bridge. I would have gotten like maybe right up to the edge of it and ran the other way just in case wind knocked me over. So great job to 7 Alibis. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, True Crime with Shannon, who also has a channel. Go check her out. And to all of you, thanks for being the best chat and best community on YouTube. And if I don't see you in Discord later today or in one of the Facebook groups, I will be sure to see you back here for 2 shows tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. You guys are the best. See you soon. Bye-bye.